Okay. Hello and welcome to another week of streaming from abusecartoons.com. So, the domestic abuse gag cartoon, another week of cartoons, which is 2 at the time. If you'd like to change that, visit the Patreon. But here we are. Let me see if I've got this set up. All right. So this is restreaming both on Twitch and YouTube at the moment, and also this is the full HD. So full HD. So yeah. So this should be a little bit cleaner, a little bit clearer. Hopefully, it's the same speed. It looks like we're outputting okay, and everything seems to be looking decent. So this is instead of 720p, this is 1080, and hopefully this is going to look a little bit better. The weather is not looking very nice, so it's a nice gray sky behind me, but other than that, is the microphone in the shot? It's like right here, but it's not. All right. So yeah, so the theme that I was kind of going for today, or kind of what I tweeted, was about success and measuring your own success in whatever you're doing. And that's a real tricky thing to do, and I think it's one of the things that drives people too hard, is because you'll never get successful enough. It'll never be enough. You'll never have enough. And especially if you're comparing yourself to other people in the industry that you're in, or in the field that you're in, it's going to be very frustrating. And I think, though, a couple of things that I've come across working with much more famous people, or much more established people, or much more talented people than myself, is you'll know you've achieved a decent level of success when every time you have a new project going, or something's going on, you're going to get a lot of phone calls from people that want in on it. There's going to be a lot of people that if you get an in for with Marvel or Disney, or whoever at the time, people are going to try to use you to, can you show them my work? Can you get this to them? Can you show them this? Can you put in a word for me? Can you hire me, to help you on this? And so that's a pretty good measure that you've arrived, because there are a lot of people then below you that see you as successful, and unfortunately they are trying to kind of use your coattails, or just climb onto you to help their own career. And it's a little difficult, because you can definitely ruin some friendships, or even realize the friendships that you don't have when you find out that people are just interested in you for the work you're getting, or the good that they think they can that you can do for their career. So that feels very empty. There's some people that you only hear from when you've got something going on, and it's because they want to use that as their in. So that can be a little bit they can be a little bit frustrating. And another thing, kind of talking about success, another thing that you'll notice, I guess, on the way up, and I don't know, I don't know how to really feel about this, or how to talk about it, because a lot of people do this, and basically it is one of the ways, or it is a pretty common way for people to achieve, is just climb over someone, take advantage of someone in a situation when maybe you're working together, and you'll have this in work environments too, people trying to get promoted, or trying to kind of get ahead of you in their position by doing this sort of thing, by just using using your work, using your effort, and just kind of claiming, oh, I did all this work, and this is all me, and this is all going in my portfolio, and I'm going to use this to to get a better job, to get a better position. And so it reminds me of like a heist movie, where after they've stolen whatever they're stealing, there's a point where excuse me, they're either going to to divide up the loot, or there's going to be a meet where they're going to divide up what they have. And that's the time when you've got to, anticipate people, taking off with everything, backstabbing you and trying to take everything. And you'll get to certain points in your career where you'll feel that same sort of uncomfortable situation, maybe even working together on something successful, and everybody seems to be, reaching behind themselves for their pistol and, just trying to wipe out their competition or to try to take everything and run. And that's it's a very frustrating kind of scary thing, because you really feel the cutthroat nature of the business part of, being creative, when people are, kind of turning on you and, trying to make off with as much of the success or as much of the project as possible. Maybe I've just worked with, people I shouldn't have been working with. But, that sort of thing happens, and you feel that in business sometimes, where it's just, it's this much above, how thieves and criminals, deal with each other. And they may even have more ethical, more ethics, more morals. But, that's something that you're just going to have to deal with. And you'll definitely lose, friendships or partnerships or things, throughout that, because success is, the goal, the only goal for a lot of people. And so they'll climb over you, they'll betray you, they'll steal from you, whatever to get there. And so just be aware of that, and be aware that that's going to happen. And I don't think, you don't have to take it personally, and just realize that it is business, and just see it as someone you're never going to do business with again, or somebody that you would, never recommend to someone. Because of how they do business, and that there's not really, unless it is a financial loss, unless it is, something you're actually going to try to sue somebody over, try to recover some losses, or there are actual damages, there really isn't anything you can do besides not make that mistake twice. I think, working with someone that's kind of turned on you in the past, that's a big mistake, and then everything that goes wrong after that is kind of your fault, because you were warned. They let you know exactly what they were all about, and if you didn't pay attention, well, that's going to kind of be on you. But it's a real interesting thing, and it's just try to work with good people, and realize that success isn't everything, that status or position or the companies you're working for or whatever isn't everything, because having good people around you makes a huge difference in the satisfaction and happiness of your life, and making something that you're proud of and happy with. I think is much better than other ways to measure your success. But I would definitely think the people around you are a pretty good indication, and their kind of behavior toward you is a good indication of kind of where you are. But at the same time, it's good to not have such a limited idea of what success is, and just be satisfied with your little victories. Because so when I first started doing this cartoon, I did it as daily for about 2 years. I'm not sure if I have the timeline exactly right, but I think a little bit over a year. I was doing it as daily for a little bit more than a year, and just kind of submitting it to different places, just kind of randomly, not so seriously, and just to online situations or people that I could submit to online, so I wasn't actually mailing packets or anything. And I remember there's a British humor magazine that I sent it to, that they said, so I can't remember the exact, it was a very British, very funny very funny kind of critique, or this is what passes for humor, or it was very what is it, what are the it was just a really funny put down about the quality of the humor. And early on, there was a lot of puns and things, and of course I think that's old man's humor basically in England. So but it was pretty funny, the reaction to that. So I had no positive reaction, and I was just doing it myself, posting it on a website with just like a little JavaScript to run the current cartoon and the previous archive. And So I was doing it that way, and submitting it here and there and just letting people know about it. And but the thing I did do is do a little promotion, not promotion, but do a little like optimization for the website, and get my meta tags good, and submit to a lot of indexes of web cartoons or web comics. And I think back in that day, that was like 2002, the field was a lot less crowded. There wasn't really that much. I don't think even some of the really popular cartoons now, were kind of the famous web cartoons, were even quite there yet. And as far as like having big audiences, so you didn't have as much. It was easier to get noticed, basically. You didn't have as much competition. It just feels like, I mean, now it feels just, I can't believe anybody can get anything. Anybody will find your work, because there is just so much out there. And there's some really, really beautiful drawing and terrible stories, and really terrible drawing and beautiful stories. And it's really hard to sort your way through that, because it's a real minefield. I have a real difficult time. You just lose any motivation to find something new out there, because there is just such a glut of stuff, and there's so much stuff that I would just never read at all. It's real hard to get through all of that. But back to, so I just submitted to like webcomics lists and indexes and things, and then a couple years, maybe less, a little bit less, and I got a table at the in the small press area, because I was self-printing like little postcard size books of, and then also really tiny kind of matchbook size books of, and I might have something around here from that era of my cartoons. And because I already had a couple hundred of them, and more than that, and I was using that to have a table. I did like some stickers and things with just the different cartoons, and had a little table at small press, and was sitting there, and the editor from Disney Publishing walked by and recognized my work and said he was a fan. And so that was great. That was shocking. That was a really, I had no idea that my stuff was actually getting out there, and that people that were in, the publishing business had even seen it. So that was a really happy surprise for me. So you really never know, how far your stuff is getting out there until you can have a measure of that, like going to a show, or just getting that feedback, I think, is really important. And now, I don't know, I think it must be very different for people now, because instead of wanting that kind of industry recognition, or have other professionals or people that are doing the same thing but more accomplished recognize you, I think people are just happy with the likes and the views and the follows in social media. And of course, people obviously have can convert that to financial success and things like that. But I think that's really deceptive. I don't know. I guess you're dealing. Yeah, it is the age of like dealing. Going right to the consumer and going right to your fans, and that's the way that a lot of people want to operate. But in that case, it's just a weird social media popularity contest, and I think in a lot of ways that's going to push you to pander and to do kinds of work that you probably wouldn't have done if you had just been left to your own devices and not influenced by how people were responding to your work, or comments that you got, or what was the most. That was the thing that I noticed people were doing. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but on Instagram, doing my best 9 or whatever, doing a little grid of 9 of the images, the artists on Instagram, of their posts, and doing the best 9, the most popular 9 images. And when you looked at that stuff, it's like, I hope you're not using that any way to measure yourself or the work you should be doing, because a lot of times and it probably had a lot more to do with like whatever hashtag they used, or just the timing of the post. So I don't think it had a lot to do with it, specifically with that image, or it's very possible that it, wasn't purely that image that was, generating that. So I think it's a little deceptive, and but it's really, I mean, I feel funny, I feel like I'm presenting, I'm doing a lot of, my opinions are based on a lot of old data because, when you say that's a ridiculous way to work or that's a ridiculous way to measure yourself, that's how people do measure themselves now. That's when I think we always, every generation kind of discounts the next generation, the younger generation's way of doing things, because that's not right. That's not how we did it. That's not reliable. That's not, testable. That's not, a functional way to do things. You're just kind of making up this system. But if you make up something and rely on it, it becomes the way that things are done, like how linguistics works. If everyone mispronounces the word the same way, that becomes the correct pronunciation of the word. So we kind of culturally have that. And I think digital technology is doing a lot to speed that up, so that we're looking at these really faulty ways, these terrible models of doing things, but it's now the way to do something. The way to become successful is to do it on Twitter or whatever. So that's an odd thing. But then when when these people are really tested, these people that have, social media popularity or whatever, are really tested as to what they're made of and how long their work is going to last, and, those sorts of things. If you consider that if you've got a young audience that you've gotten from social media, they're very meme based and they're looking for the next thing to laugh at, and it's probably not going to be you. So you're going to have not even 15 minutes of fame. You're going to have this nanoseconds of fame that, and people will just kind of, look for the next thing. So that's the danger I see in that. But it definitely, is a way to work on building things. And even, serious companies now are looking to, Twitter and YouTube and stuff to find people. They're using that to scout talent, which is so strange. But at the same time, those people don't know how much their work is worth. So anybody that I think they're always going to be tapping into markets, like they do, Korea to finish TV animation, and things are going to tap into markets where people don't know what their work is worth, what their value is worth, and they'll just take advantage of situations like that. So you'll always have that. So if you're being scouted on Instagram, there's a good chance that they're assuming that you don't know the business, and they'll be able to get you to work for them for, peanuts, for nothing. So yeah, that's an interesting thing, but that's, that may be the market. That that's how new things are always developing, and you always get those breakthrough, super low budget, indie horror movies and things. And why do you think, those got attention? Because you don't have to put any money into it, and you get a decent return, and the people go through the same effort of making a movie. It's the same actual effort to make the movie. It just didn't financially, and it doesn't cost as much to actually produce it. So it's a big win numbers wise. So that's always going to be a thing. And I think that's a part of the reason why, animation, like online and digital animation, it's such a perfect place to be producing animation, and people just aren't doing it because no one can figure out a good way to make it cost effective. Even with the newer and newer tools, it's still very labor intensive, very time intensive, and nobody is willing to tolerate that anymore. They want really instant output, and that's another reason why, like, we've got a bit of an addiction to social media. And social media demands daily updates and daily content. It's a hungry, endless endless vacuum of vacuum. It's endlessly asking for the next thing, the newest thing. And people that want to get on that treadmill and do that, I think it's a good way to get attention. It's a good way to build something. But I don't think you're gonna I think you're going to be hitting some, you know, burnout unless you really balance yourself. Although, you know, I say that and I think I'm talking only from my personal tolerances, because when I look at the work ethics of some of the manga artists in Japan, there's people that don't stop doing their comics until they're hospitalized. You know, that's just amazing. That's just crazy. And you know, I don't know if it's they are so happy that they've had success, and just like success is not easy to come by here, so they don't want to do anything to endanger it, or just, you know, or basically just the work ethic and the pride in your work that a lot of Japanese people have, even if they're just, you know, working at McDonald's or Starbucks. But the yeah, that's pretty amazing. So, you know, I definitely would not endanger my health the same way a lot of people here would for their career. But that's a, yeah, it's a very interesting scale that, you know, I don't have an understanding of. People will. Yeah, and they always have, even the office workers, you know, kind of working yourself to death, the overworking disease. I forget the Japanese word for it, but the you know, I think they coined that in the 80s, the, you know, death by exhaustion from overwork that a lot of office workers were having in the 80s. I'm sure they still are, but it's just not famous now because Japan is not the juggernaut anymore. They were dethroned by the makers of tiny plastic things. Oh my, what am I doing? Sorry. All right, so that's not it. Yeah, so measuring success. So I think I was on a track and I derailed myself. But yeah, so really I think you just need to, okay, so a couple things I would suggest. Don't use your parents or your family to ever measure your success, because a lot of times they probably weren't happy about your creative career choice, or they admire you as being an outlier and doing your own thing, but they don't want to see you be tremendously successful at it, because that proves their whole worldview wrong. But yeah, just, you know, friends and family are not going to be an accurate measure of how well you're doing, or yeah, I would avoid that, and look for peers. You know, look instead of just friends or people, you know, look for people involved in the same work, or people wanting to do the same work. And hopefully, you know, you don't find some very jealous or spiteful people, so you can actually get some decent feedback. But yeah, that's always a trap. I just remember like in undergraduate, going away to art school and doing work, and, you know, bringing back, you know, because you produce so much during a year of art school that, you know, just bring back some work and then show things to the family, and just the reaction is always, oh, that's what you're doing, huh? Wow, money well spent. You know, it's not it's not going to be very encouraging, and also it's not going to yeah, I just think, you know, people without that kind of experience, even though they're close to you, and even though you in a lot of other ways value their opinions about, you know, your life choices or whatever, yeah, I think creatively there's some people you just shouldn't, you know, spend too much time showing them. Or that, you know, I guess it's good to show people those things, but don't take too seriously their opinion, or don't give them too much authority over what you're doing, because you're just going to get a bunch of weird feedback and a bunch of confusing attitudes. Yeah, and it's not going to be very inspiring. It's not going to be very motivational. I would rely more on, you know, if you're in school, your classmates and your you know, professors, and then you know, once you're out of school, people in the same industry, people doing the same kind of thing that you do or that you want to be doing. That's the best way. Otherwise. But Yeah, and I think you should just, it's important to work hard on your own sense of self and accomplishment and doing the things that you want to do because, I mean, you'll have to do work that you don't really want to do to make money, or you have to do another job, a non-creative job for that purpose. But I think you should do the things that you want to do, devote your time, because there comes a point where you have to stop, kind of imitating other people's work or just doing things as, kind of technical tests or, using a new piece of software, that get out of that mode of just always, testing and experimenting and in technical ways. I'm not talking about, creative ways and in just technical ways, and not investing yourself or putting anything too serious into the work you do. I think you have to, at a certain point, say, okay, I'm seriously doing this. So, let me find my voice and let me tell the kind of stories that I want to tell, or, make the kind of images that I want to make in that voice or with that view. And, kind of focus instead of, being very slippery and keep, kind of doing whatever. But I mean, that, those kind of people, though, that are always experimenting technically and want to work in a lot of different styles. I mean, they're very viable. They're very good, good people to work commercially, because, they're going to demand that you have a lot of different styles and things. But finding your personal style and your personal voice, I think, is important for connecting with people, because you can have a successful career doing very visually interesting stuff and win awards and things like that, but if you want to communicate, if you want to connect with people, I think you need to focus much more specifically on what you want to do, what you want to say, and get practiced at that instead of just working too much on being technically proficient. But yeah, so measuring that those kind of achievements. I mean, I think just setting goals and whether it's getting something published, or getting something together to self-publish it, or getting a gallery show, or getting or being part of a group show. Finally getting included or asked to do something in a group show. Oftentimes that stuff is themed. You'll have a lot of pop culture kind of themed things that you can get involved with. But yeah, I think just finding where you're comfortable and where you're happy and where you feel like, what's the next step for my work, and not being anything too ridiculous, but logically, what's the next step I would take in doing what I want to do. I think that's a important thing to think about, important thing to look at, so that you keep yourself, kind of motivated and inspired. Don't be too content. I think the funny thing with this cartoon is, once I was signed up with the syndication for Go Comics for Universal, I thought, wow, I made it. I did it. I made something, and it got syndicated, and people are going to see it, and it's going to be out there. And I remember the immediate feedback I got from other, much more successful creative people is, okay, so now what? Keep going. What's the next thing? Keep at it. You're not done. And strangely, I had, I think, too much of so I got that finished. I did that, so I'm all set now. There's so much more beyond getting some sort of recognition or getting some sort of regular income from your work. There's a lot more to it than that. And I was already, all right, I've done it. I'm ready to sit back and just do this for the rest of my life. And that, of course, wasn't going to happen. And of course, syndication isn't what it used to be. And that used to mean, newspaper, magazine. That used to mean, things were, you're going to keep getting placed and keep getting, you're going to build a syndication presence. And with the internet, especially with digital comics, it's not the same thing anymore. But yeah, but I just remember that feeling. I overestimated that accomplishment and was ready to ready to just slip into a lazy production of this one idea because it had been discovered, and it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't work like that. But yeah, I'm just kind of doing some random objects here to get some ideas. So yeah, so really focus on motivating yourself and keeping yourself inspired, and never being too satisfied. I guess that was my point, is not being too satisfied with your little successes, and just think of it as a continuum, as something that's going to keep going, and you want to get something better and do something more, more and more, and yeah, just keep pushing yourself, and even if that means kind of if you're having a lot of success in a particular way, but you're not really it's not really satisfying, or you want to challenge yourself, try turning it into animation, or doing music for something, or try to whatever other skills you have, push yourself in new directions, to not let yourself get bored or to resign to the way you're working on stuff, and yeah, just don't let yourself get too in a rut with the same kind of using your same kind of tricks and your same kind of default techniques or ideas. Just kind of always be willing to push yourself, because I think that's the best part about being successful, is you can it opens up much more opportunities to to work on much more high profile or larger scale projects and things. And I think that's always really exciting, going from doing web cartoons to doing publishing, or doing print work and things like that. Those kind of things are very exciting, and they get as they open up for you. Definitely always take advantage of that, because that's kind of the reason you're doing it, to just kind of get more and more involved, and be able to work on bigger and bigger things. That's always a good feeling. A skinny little stick of butter. That's a weird looking a little chibbier. But yeah, that's yeah, I guess I talked about that enough. I don't know. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of touch on those things, because it's a real hard thing. I mean, I think you can really punish yourself, because people have really strange expectations, or really strange ideas of what success means, or what success is going to look like. And it just like anything else, like being a parent or whatever, it's not going to look like or feel like anything that you've imagined before you're actually there. So just wait and see, because I think a lot of people are actually allergic to success, or actually have, it doesn't agree with them. They react badly to success. And just be open to the idea that maybe that's you. Maybe and I know it's weird to say in this age, but being more public, or getting more focus, or more attention, is actually a negative experience for you, or something that you don't like, and that's completely okay. I think everybody should be willing to accept that yeah, this isn't me. This is not what I want to be doing, and so yeah, just keep that in mind, that not everybody is built for success, or the kinds of successes that oh, there we go. Just testing the message. When I said greeting without a greeting. Yeah, I think I've discovered that yeah, we only get messages from Twitch at this point. I think just because I have the Streamlabs thing set up. So sorry about that. But yeah, it's a it's an important thing. Everything in your life is like that, but maybe a little bit more so. Your creative life is figuring out who you are and what you want, and that's how you get satisfied with your work. And people that are never satisfied and are never happy, they can become incredibly successful because they're, incredibly driven. They're not going to, be satisfied with any sort of small, whoa, sorry about that. They're not going to be satisfied with any sort of small success. So they're just going to push bigger and bigger and bigger. And, it's all about them, and they'll do whatever damage to their personal life needs to be done to make that work. So, yeah, so just, you might be one of those people too that just eats up your life and destroys everything around you, for your success. And yeah, you never know. But yeah, but be open and kind of sensitive to what you're about, and what makes you happy, and that's the way that you can kind of save yourself, or avoid some of the damage, or the kind of mental self abuse that you give yourself from not being accomplished, or not being, where you think you should be in your career. Those sorts of things. Yeah, so that is what I was thinking about for that. And yeah, so that's our little talk about measuring success. And I definitely let me know, in comments, or direct message me, or on Twitter or whatever, if you have different ideas about that, because your experience will vary, of course, especially because if you're younger and just starting out, you are just finding these things out, but you're also doing them in a world that's that was very different from my experience of things. So I would be curious to see what people just starting out are finding to be the difficulty. I think ultimately people stay the same, even if they're using hashtags to make each other feel terrible, or just doing it face to face or on the phone. I think that's I don't know why I'm doing that. I think that's always going to be the case. So you're always going to run into those kind of difficulties. But I think your satisfaction with the work, and satisfaction with connecting with people, and people responding to your work, I think is a much better measure of what you're doing, and how you should be happy, and how you should feel success. I think I bumped the camera. I think I'm way off frame again. Let me look at my more live shot here. Sorry, I think I've knocked. Oh yeah. I'm kind of at a weird spot here. Okay, well, it's as good as it's going to be. Now I'm a little bit more off center. But yeah, so that's the thinking, and I'd be interested, and I would be interested in your opinion. And I'm sorry that I keep being right back. I'm trying to get a brush. I'm trying to get my brush to come up on Photoshop. Go. Okay. Now when I hit B, it's not going to do that. Okay. So, where are we here? Yeah, so just don't beat yourself up, I think, is the best advice, because what you think of or feel as success is not what other people do. It's definitely not what your parents or your friends do, or even your teachers. I had a lot of frustration with when I wanted to do animation and things in undergrad, is the kind of instructor's attitude. I'm not going to name any names, but a little bit of frustration. I think just maybe personality conflict. I think I had an instructor or two that just didn't like me as a person, and yeah, then you get a whole bunch of discouragement. People that like to not like my name or think it was ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. That's a very interesting thing. That kind of those kind of odd responses. Uh, but just like when you're in public school and you get a bad teacher, you can't let that ruin your enjoyment of school, or you'll really get derailed. That's always that's always a thing. Having someone try to get in your way. And it sounds like, just from my little bit of experience here, that that's a much more common thing in Japan, because I think a lot of kids here that are students see their teachers as much more of an authority. So if you're an authority like that, a teacher tells you don't have any talent or you shouldn't do that or whatever, you're like, okay, I guess you're right. I guess I must be wrong, and I need to change my thinking. And especially with the arts here, with creative, because there are they're difficult to get into, and there's creative arts, art schools here, and they're difficult to get into. And I think especially junior high school or high school age, kids rely on the opinions of their teachers a lot to say, think I'm good enough to do this. And I can't believe how much I've heard, discouragement from teachers. Yeah, that's just depressing. All right, what are we doing here? Wow, really don't like that butter. Heavy-handed. Yeah, I'm not sure. Still not awake. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not sure what to focus on here. To wrapped up on my little topic, but yeah, let's see. So, sorry, let me just take a look here. All right. Yeah, I don't know what any of this is going to be here. Just more boxes and some nothing. And oh, yeah, that odd spoon. Why do you have a spoon? In case we're going to go that way. All right. Yeah, I was wondering, because I noticed, especially on Twitch, I got a lot of people dropping into view and maybe looking at the stream and saying boring, or maybe it's just not their style of art, or it's not their fandom that I'm drawing or whatever. But yeah, so I'm wondering what makes an interesting creative stream. And I was hoping it was just someone doing something creative and talking about it, but it may not be. There may be some outfit or some something that makes for a successful stream. And also, I think streaming is skews a little younger. When they see some old tired guy on the stream, maybe that's not that interesting. But okay, so I think we're gonna have some breakfast and some, yeah, I think some breakfast needs to happen. It's been a while. I have a big breakfast painting on the wall in here, and I haven't done any breakfast stuff in a while. So let's see. So breakfast and boxes. Yeah, maybe something like that would work. So let's move some of these boxes over. So this and this, and maybe not that, and not that, and this. So this, I'm assuming. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but We'll just do it this way. Boom. Oh, and I got the bowl. And oh, that must be the older, yeah, the older one. This. Okay. So we'll call this one breakfast and get rid of our boxes. Oh, that was the bowl. Sorry. If I just made my thumbnails a little bigger, I guess that wouldn't be so difficult. Okay, let's move some of these closer together just so they're easier to deal with. Okay. I don't need that. And we don't need that. Okay. Try something like this. Yeah, I have a feeling this my scale's a little off here, so. Oh, there's a dot. So some of those lines are gonna get a little thicker than they should. I think I'll fill this just so I can put it in front of things and have some idea. Yeah, but oh, bigger bowl. Not such a bad thing. Oh, maybe down here too. Oh, we're getting a little slow here. Okay. My janky looking spoon. Actually, yeah. I'm gonna get these guys figured out. Maybe more like that. Yeah, then the spoon doesn't need anything, does it really? Just a little angle. There's some breakfast. Oh yeah, it's still a very flat-sided spoon. Oh well, and then some boxes here, so let's kill this bowl. And let's see. Yeah, so maybe this can get filled too. Yeah, so put that in front. Yeah, so just kind of scale-wise, I think I wanted that. I like this guy a lot. Let's, oh, where is that? Somewhere? Where's that lid? Oh, 41. All right. A hierarchy of boxes. All right. Boxes within boxes. Yeah, actually, let me just do a quick mask on this. Let's see if this works. Oh, maybe less so. So just down a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. And then we'll just do a quick mask. To get rid of that. There we go. Turn this back up because then I can just leave that mask in place, even though it's not perfect. Boom, boom, boom. leave that mask in place and then just move this guy around a little. All right. I don't know. I don't know. The gift of bread. I recently got a gift of bread that was really delicious. All right. Yeah, so something like that. All right, so we've already gone from talking about something to just my comments about moving stuff around in Photoshop. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this talking and drawing for 90 minutes is punishing. I guess it's easier to play a game. I always choose the difficult way to do something. Yeah, so what am I thinking about? Yeah, with this, maybe some ribbon or something would be funnier. Maybe having some ribbon under the edge. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that might make it more. Oof. Let's get that a little tighter. Oh, wow. Things are slow. All right. Ugh. Okay, that's not working. Let's try that again. Yes, I just want a little ribbon to come out and then just have a little bit of, you know, depth there. And then just, oh, not that part though. Something like that. Okay. Of course, that would probably be a lot longer, but what are you gonna do? Something like that. Yeah, that's another thing. And I guess, you know, people streaming, playing games and such feel that same thing, but you know, knowing that people are watching or could watch at a later date, every odd little mistake you make trying to draw something is pretty funny. It can make you a little self-conscious if you think about it too much, but since when has that stopped anybody? All right. I don't know. Is that a big block of cheese or what is that? Okay. And breakfast. Huh. Yeah, let's fill this guy and keep him up front so we can. Maybe something in the bowl. There we go. All right. Oh, I don't know where either of these is going. Isn't that amazing? And when I look back at the whoa, hey, there's the microphone. When I look back at stuff I've drawn, it's so funny because I barely remember drawing it because this process is is so odd, kind of creatively. Okay. I guess that's okay. All right. So I guess we'll color some of this and kind of, yeah, think about where this is going as we're doing that. Let's see here. Yeah. One of those. Let's first do white. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, yeah, not obeying the layers. Okay. And then put some of the color back. Yeah, it's been a while since I've even seen the colors of, you know, either store brand or different dairies. Milk, you know, 2% skim, whole, even half whole, or what they call it. But yeah, I haven't even seen that in so long. So basically it's just, yeah, skim and 3%, 3.8% here. So those are the only things you get to see anymore. And the milk, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but the milk in Japan, you can definitely taste that Japanese cows are corn-fed because the milk is very corny. You can taste the corn in Japanese milk very easily. I was surprised by that. That was a very funny thing to discover. Is this going to be just some kind of cereal? Maybe. Okay. Yeah, is it more interesting if I'm working closer? I don't know. I can't tell, but maybe for the shading and stuff, I'll try to be working tighter in. But at the same time, I want to fill this or do my little 70s mixing bowl pattern. I forget which company did this, but this is always my retro bowl style. Yeah, that'll work. Something like that. That's a big stupid spoon. Ugh. Oh well. Let's just keep going here. See how this goes. And then down here. Whoa, what layer is this on? What's going on here? Oh, did I... What? Oh, I just erased instead of doing white. So I think I just need to, on the color layer, just boom, boom. I was doing something strange. Yeah, there we go. That was dumb. As usual. There it goes. That's better. And inside of the bowl and the side. Whoa. Inside of the spoon and the bottom. Yeah, definitely lose energy and then just not much to say. Yeah, I think I don't think anyone has made it through the full stream because, yeah, as I just get more, focused on finishing and more tired, there's just nothing going on. Just a lot of, and this here and that there, and that's it. Not very interesting. All right. Maybe just a little. Oh. Hello. Give me my pencil. All right. And then a little, hey, yeah, my things are a little slow. Feel a little laggy because I'm not getting my keyboard shortcuts as quickly as they usually come. So something's going on. Got maybe too much stuff open. And also, too, I know that Chrome can be a monster eating up, your memory when you've got too many tabs open. And just to get this up and going, I've got so many tabs open. So that could be part of it. Chinese cereal. There we go. Everything's so shiny. I was just thinking of something that I wanted to keep going on about. Too bad. I had to jump right on it or else. Oops. Oh, come on. Give me my little hand here. I saw over the weekend the Shape of Water, which I actually wasn't that excited about going to see. In Japan, they kind of Fox Searchlight bundled Shape of Water and 3 postcards together, and they were kind of even sharing a movie poster. They didn't even get a full movie poster. They just got half and half. And I guess because it won the Academy Award, Shape of Water stayed in theaters longer. Because it got Best Picture, Shape of Water stayed in the theater longer here because, it's the best, so everyone has to go see it. Kind of Japanese thinking. And yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised. It was much more, I don't know what I was expecting, but it just, the whole idea, I had no idea, the whole idea, the kind of story that I had heard about it, the plot summary, it just did not sound interesting at all, and I had no idea where it was going to go. And it's so funny how much, the actors in a film and, of course, the script makes such a huge difference. And so when you hear the premise of something, you can just imagine how wrong that can go and how uninteresting and bad that can be. And I just had a lot of those bad kind of preconception things when I heard the plot of that, and was really surprised it won Best Picture. But after seeing it, it was an enjoyable film, but I felt right away the reason why it won Best Picture was the worship of old Hollywood and old music. As soon as you do that in a film, of course, that's seen as so complimentary, so flattering to the industry. It's just such a self-absorbed goddamn industry. And any little, acknowledgement you have of how great and amazing Hollywood is, especially old Hollywood, that seems to go over pretty well. So that was very funny. That was funny for me. to see that, and felt right away that's why it got Best Picture, is because it was so. Isn't old Hollywood great? Remember this, these old, so there's just like on the television, old movies are playing, and one of the characters is very worshipful of old Hollywood, and that's a very that put them over, I'm sure, against the competition, against those horrible things like Dunkirk that we don't want to think about anymore. But I'm going for it. I'm going for it. It's just a block of cheese. I'm so sorry. I don't know why. It just is. Color-wise, I love how it looks, but oh well. But yeah, Shape of Water was a happy surprise. Very entertaining, and had it was much more action than I thought, and much less romance in a way. Yeah, I was. I don't know. I was feeling like I don't want to see Iron Giant again or something. There was something weird about it that just made me feel like I've seen this movie. But then when it came down to it, I actually hadn't. And they did a nice job of, without spoiling anything, they did a nice job of the kind of the courtship romance part of it, not just lasting forever. It was very economically dealt with, so it was believable, but you didn't have to spend hours kind of showing how and why the two fell in love. And yeah, it was just, I was not looking forward to that. That must say something about my becoming less romantic or something. But I just did not want to go through that, a woman falling in love with a fish. But yeah, but it was great. That was handled really well. And I think before seeing it, I was surprised about Best Picture. I haven't seen, and that's a product of being in Japan, because a lot of my streaming is so it's so Pan's Labyrinth is for me in Spanish with Japanese subtitles. So I have to actually buy it. So foreign films, that's the one thing I really regret, I really don't like about being in Japan, is that I watch a lot less foreign film, Asian films, like Korean or Spanish or French film. I watch a lot less because I don't have a subtitle option. So I just kind of gave up, maybe a little too easily, but I just kind of gave up trying to keep up with a lot of foreign film, and that's too bad, because yeah, that was always kind of enjoyable thing. And that was nice about the US too, is that there's a lot of options for seeing foreign films, especially Los Angeles. But yeah, so I was surprised, and yeah, Shape of Water was very, very fun, very enjoyable. Yeah, very enjoyable story, and did a nice, kind of subverted your, oh, no, we're back to that word again, but did a nice job of subverting your thoughts about what they were going to try to pull with the story. Like, they kind of put you on a little bit of a, send you in a little bit of a direction, and then do better than that. And I think that's a great, I wish this cartoon did that more often, but suggested something, and then kind of went that direction, but better, kind of thing. I don't know if that's not going to make a lot of sense without spoiling anything, but I think they did a good job of that, of telling an interesting story and surprising you. And I think that's instead of that horrible word, that subversion word, I like when movies can still surprise you, when they set something up, and you don't have to be that clever to know what was coming, and then they don't do that. They do better than that, and that's a nice thing to see. The movies can still do, and it was charming. I don't think, and I'm saying I haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth, so I think that was more, a little bit more horrific and a little bit more grotesque. I mean, it looked like a fairy tale, but I've just seen, still images and character designs and things. But this was very charming, very sweet, charming story with just a little greediness and a little edge of, kind of what you've seen in the other. And I'm not an expert on his work at all, but in the other Del Toro movies I've seen, basically I've seen Hellboy and Blade 2 and Pacific Rim. Not a great sampling of his work, just the real mainstream stuff, but it was good. Yeah, it was a nice surprise, which is always a good movie experience because I so rarely, movies are so expensive here that I so rarely see them, that when it's bad, that's just punishing. When it's something not worth seeing. I haven't had that yet because I go to so few movies. I haven't had that frustration, but I can remember that in the US quite often, seeing something that was such a waste of time. Yeah, maybe we'll put this in the shadows. Mysterious cheese. Yeah, this reminds me of my that butter. I did something with like a stick of butter or something, I think, in a cartoon a few months ago, and that was our last year sometime. And that was the same thing where it just kind of struck me as funny. A big dairy product right in the middle. All right. Well, this is what we're going with. Oh, and actually on the stream, or on my other monitor, the cheese looks more yellow, less orange. I wonder if I should fix that. Let's see. Might just be my monitor. A little orangey, or a little more orange. Just in case. Let's see. Let's see how. Yeah, there we go. Let's make it definitely cheese. Definitely orange. Okay. I like the bright yellow, but it may read as yellow. And maybe that's a video thing. Maybe that's like an NTSC thing. Like I know. Like I should know, but I don't. Oh yeah, nothing. Oof, everything's lagging. Hopefully we're still going out. It says we're still going out okay, but not good. I have to write these now? Oh no. Well, thanks for hanging in there with me, you couple of folks. We're gonna see. Yeah, the live dashboard is dead. We're gonna see if we can get through this here. So where was I going with breakfast here? Weird. Oh, I hope we're still going on YouTube here. We'll see. Oh, wow. Well, thank you for hanging in there, and let's now get to the funny bits. Yeah, so let's get rid of our are we there? Yeah, sorry, everything is kind of slowed down here. Hopefully you are seeing it in somewhat real time. Yeah, it looks like things are streaming okay still. Just my computer is all crawling. All right, so breakfast. Yes, I think I've made a part of this complete balanced breakfast jokes a lot. Let's not default to that if we don't have to. Okay, yeah. So maybe I'll. Okay, that's just occurred to me. So maybe expiration date joke. But I want to like make some obvious little reference to where that would be. Hello. Why is this locked? Don't be locked. What are we locked for? Oh, I think it still thinks I'm in the tool. Oh, did I kill that layer? No, I guess it's okay. But here. Okay, there's the expiration date. uh, okay. And yeah, so that's the joke. They were unwilling to go so far beyond his expiration date. They were unwilling to go so far beyond his expiration date. They were unwilling. Yeah, I don't think go so far beyond. I'm not sure. That's exactly right. Wow, everything is slow and strange. Hey, microphone. Everything is slow and strange. Let me get closer here. Getting tired and sitting back. They were unwilling. Okay, so that's an expiration date joke. So something expiration date. Let's get things saved. Yeah, I'm putting all my paths and stuff out on the internet. Great, whatever. But so if you want to find stuff on my system, I'll show you exactly where it is. And a block of cheese was as thoughtful as it was surprising. As a gift, a block of cheese was as thoughtful as it was awkward. Yeah, I don't think as a gift. I think hopefully I've got block of cheese was as thoughtful a gift. A block of cheese was a thoughtful, maybe a thoughtful. I don't know. Yeah, it was both, maybe. Yeah. It was both a thoughtful and something. It was both a thoughtful and yeah, a block of cheese as a gift was both thoughtful. I think it's thoughtful. Cheese. Oh, actually. See, I always catch these things that I want to fix, and it's just an avoidance. It's just to avoid finishing. But yeah, I think I want the whole thing. Oops. I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and draw that in by hand. Maybe a little bit here too. And then, hello, get rid of that. Yeah, something like that. Okay. A block of cheese was a surprising and I don't want to make a constipation joke. Cheese, a big block of cheese, heavy. Oh. Yeah, not thoughtful, but concerning. There we go. The block of cheese was not as much thoughtful as it was concerning. Block of cheese as a gift was not so much thoughtful. Not so much thoughtful as it was concerning. Practical. Was not so much practical as it was concerning. Block of cheese as a gift was not so much practical as it was concerning. A block of cheese was not so much... Yeah, I think I want to put it as a gift earlier. A block of cheese as a gift was not so much practical as it was concerning. Surprising. As it was concerning. A block of cheese as a gift was not so much surprising as it was concerning. Yeah. What's all this about? Is that gonna work? So a block of cheese as a gift. See, this is the exciting part where you just get to hear me say things over and over and over again. A block of cheese as a gift was not so much surprising as it was concerning. They were unwilling to go so far beyond his expiration date. Yeah, so he's gonna be sad, maybe. Yeah, they had never gone so far beyond his expiration date. Oh, yeah, maybe. There we go. Like, age is just a number. It turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number. So age is just a number joke. Yeah, that'll work. It turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number. Maybe everybody up. It turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number. It turns out that an expiration date wasn't. Yeah, isn't so. Turned out. Try to match my tenses, I guess. It turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number. Wow, weird. Okay, so it turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number. See, you can't even see this, and I can't even move this. Sorry, I'm in the way of that. So it turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number. It actually meant the milk was bad. And a block of cheese was as a gift was not so much surprising as it was concerning. Yeah, and I want to make a block of cheese as a gift was not so much surprising. I don't know, surprising as it was concerning. Block of cheese as a gift was not so much surprising as it was concerning. Not so much practical as it was. Yeah, maybe just practical. I think I'm going back to that original. Yeah, a block of cheese as a gift was not so much practical as it was concerning, because then that's a better contrast between those two words. Make sure I spelled practical right. Hey, hey. Yeah, okay. Concerning, yeah, particular word. It turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number. Okay, the laugh test, it just passed. Get his little mouth in there. One more try here. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, something like that. Okay. I think everybody would be sad, though. So it turned out that an expiration date wasn't just a number, and a block of cheese as a gift was not so much practical as it was concerning. So those are the two cartoons for this week. Wow. So thank you for hanging in there. 1:30. Wow, 90 minutes exactly. 1:30. So sorry. Yeah. You've been around for 90 minutes if you've made it this far. So I thank you for enduring that. I know there were some quiet moments when I was rendering cheese. But yeah, thanks for joining me. And if you'd like to follow this cartoon, please follow me on Twitter at abusecartoons, and then abusecartoons.com is the website and the channel on YouTube where this is archived, and on Twitch as well, Twitch TV/abusecartoons. And if you would like to see this as a daily cartoon again, basically, you know, my dream is to get this back to the level where I'm producing that many, and then in every few years I can do a book collection of the, you know, the best of that 1,000 cartoons, you know, to like take 100 of the best out and publish them as a book. If you'd like to see that happen and you'd like to support that, please consider supporting this cartoon on Patreon at patreon.com/abusecartoons. And I'll be here every week. So I will see you next Monday night or Tuesday morning or wherever you happen to be around that time. And maybe I'll start trying to schedule these as events, because my schedule is pretty regular. So I think I can schedule these as events so that you get some advance notification and things. But anyhow, just look on Twitch or your notifications. If you're following me on YouTube, you'll get notifications when this goes live, and I believe it on Twitch as well. And that may help us stay in touch. So until next week, thank you very much. Goodbye.